Keynote
Agent,
2.
go! Green light it now! Red Hattie, make it so! I know you can do it! You've got the muscle! Right guys, welcome back to another Das 514 video. Tonight I have with me my good old friend Booker the Looker, because he's one sexy looking man. Booker, say hi tonight guys.
You're right, I am good, less of the old, and sometimes I'm your friend, yeah.
Sometimes. Right, well, dude, a lot of people have been sending us mail on YouTube and other forms of media and stuff like that about our interpretation of FanFest this year. And when I say FanFest, I'm talking about Eve Fest over in Reykjavik in Iceland. And Booker, this is our interpretation of this year's FanFest. Dude, what did you think of the opening keynote by Hilmar, the dude himself?
But do you know what? For some people, I would imagine that opening keynote may have been everything they needed from all of FanFest. And of course, there was lots and lots more. But for me, it was all about the Valkyrie. You got to
okay. Curb your enthusiasm. We're try and work through this methodically. I know you just want to jump straight into the Valkyrie things, and believe it or not, so do I to some degree. I'll start this one off, Booker, instead of you, because I know you just want to jump into it. Right. The keynote from Hilmar. The most interesting part of it, I thought, was when he started talking about virtual reality, and in particular, linking Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Linking Reykjavik, Newcastle, and Shanghai through some sort of wormhole, and he's sort of doing all sorts of weird things with his hands, and his ginger hair was flowing gracefully in the spotlight, and I'm like, oh really? So you want to link the Eve worlds? Well, I tell you what, this will make everything better instantly. But yeah, that was what I took away from his keynote. I want to say it was a dust keynote, but there wasn't as such. But there was a sort of like a gathering of people, Frame and Retardi, CCP Retardi, as I'm more Saber would call him. No, Danny Fleetwood would call him. Were doing all the talking while CCP Frame was looking at his watch incentively and looking at his phone all the time and not saying a word. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But Booker, I think
that happens to a lot of people when they
it does. But what I'll do, mate, is I'll let you get into Valkyrie now, then we'll go into the dust. Booker, Valkyrie, go.
So yes, good old Hilmar was giving it stacks about virtual reality, and I think he's pretty darn excited himself. You see a little twinkle in somebody's eyes, and you think,
his eyes were twinkling. I know that he's a very happy chappy.
So from EVR from 2-3 years ago, and it's like some sort of accidental thing. They let their programmer go off and play with Oculus Rift, and suddenly this potential giant has born. And we were given a nice old talking to from the production guy on Valkyrie. But at the end of the day, what we got was that gameplay video at the end, which you just have to think, I want me some of that.
You and me both, really, dude. You and me both.
And of course, we've still got no release date. But I tell you what, I did hear the other day. So there was some sort of Facebook conference going on. I think it was called F8, something similar like that. I'm not absolutely up together on it. I don't do a lot of Facebook. But one of their top dudes was giving a talk. And he was mostly about Oculus Rift, to be honest. But what he was saying was that he said that people would be playing Valkyrie on Oculus Rift before the end of this year. Now, obviously, we are talking about Oculus Rift, but in my heart of hearts, I'd like to think that Sony would be in there somewhere going, "Ooh, don't you dare release on PC without flipping us being in on the flipping party," you know what I mean? And so I don't know, maybe there's a little inkling that we could even see Valkyrie on PlayStation 4 this year. I mean, which would mean that Project Morpheus ready to go. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's
this is tinfoil, and as I keep telling people on the forums, our tinfoil is no mere tinfoil. This is Titan Supercap class freaking armor repair tinfoil shit, right? This is actually quite scary, because if you put two and two together, which I kind of do quite frequently, and at 9 times out of 10 it's wrong, and I admit this.
We've
Valkyrie,
been almost right quite often.
there's the thing, we've hit the nail on the head a couple of times. So yeah, just talking. Anyway, back to the thing. In the Eve Valkyrie keynote, the dude who kept talking about his shoes. God knows why, but he talked about his shoes and he was very, very nervous. Again, yes, and he, why? I'm still mind blown. He talked about his shoes. Anyway, he mentioned and he said that Valkyrie will be ready to ship and ready to play when the equipment is ready to launch. Now, if you've seen on Facebook that Oculus is going to be ready for the end of the year, I can guarantee you Morpheus will as well, because what happens into this year, Booker?
Christmas.
Jolly old Saint Nick comes down your criminy? Comes down your...
Down your cream cheese? I mean, what were you going to say there?
His fat ass slinks down your chimney, drops off a whole lot of presents, and then slinks back up it. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense, for it to launch into this year, rather than the middle of next year. So
absolutely.
There's some tinfoil for you right there, dude.
I know what Santa. I want Santa to fill my stocking full of if he does come down my chimney. If Valkyrie's on the horizon, and that would be whatever they call Project Morpheus.
Thank you. I agree, Morpheus. Yes.
I wonder what they are going to call it, but I don't know. There's a little snifter that possibly we'll see Project Morpheus and Valkyrie by the end of the year, which does make me proper excited. I mean, that gameplay video looked.
Oh, dude! Don't get me started on the gameplay video, mate.
Sweet.
Wow.
Because there's a I really enjoy the New Eden universe. I love the backstory. I love the continuing story, and I like the advancement of the story that they showed us with the sleepers, etc. That was coming out of that gameplay video. I unfortunately I don't get the time to play Eve. It's not worth me paying that money because I just I never get the time to sit down at a laptop and play Eve like you need to play it to get enjoyment out of it. Dust, well, I better not say anything about Dust. So I'm kind of missing my New Eden. I'm missing my New Eden fix, and Valkyrie could just about fill that void.
Not only will Valkyrie fill the void, Booker, but have you actually seen the quality and the depth of detail and the amount of effort these guys have monstered into that short little trailer and little play demo? Dude, you're flying around freaking Eve ships, dude. Titans and battleships and mother-classed carriers and holy yes please, more please.
And
thank you.
The really interesting thing as well was that because obviously that was a story mode mission, but that later then becomes a multiplayer map, but your multiplayer map is all the destroyed hulks of the ships left over from that battle floating in that area of space. How cool is that?
Dude, seriously, this is going to sound really sad because I haven't actually researched this as much as I'd like to, but I only know one developer currently, which is Siggy, and I only know him via his Twitter account, and I swear to God I'm going to have to do some more research into this, but after the FanFest this year, which you and I both agree was mostly centered around Valkyrie, because it was a big Valkyrie thing, you and I agree on that, these guys have done an utter marvelous job at this. Words cannot begin to describe how much I'm going to fucking love this game, and I'm going to buy Morpheus and I'm going to play this game. Mark my words.
That is true. And why couldn't they have found this talent when they were trying to put Dust together? Yeah, and they had clearly a talented team over there in Newcastle. Considering the time frame in which they've had to put this together. These guys definitely are on fast track to good times.
If you think about it, they've had, what was it? They displayed EVR in, was it 2013?
I think it was only 2 years ago,
Yeah, 2 years ago. So they displayed it as a test in 2013 as EVR. They then got the go-ahead from Hilmar and all his board, corporate, whatever. And almost a year later, because it's been going for 2 years now? This is its second year. Look at it.
But
oh my God.
It just goes to show how quickly a green light could be given if it was something worth giving a
green
light to.
Go! Green light it now! I want Legion on PS4 and on the VR headset too. Give it to me. I want it.
Well, yes. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Ratati, make it so. I know you can do it. You've got the muscle.
A VR Legion.
Dude,
Yeah, do you
there's
know
going to
what?
be a VR Legion. There is.
Mate, look, if you're going to make something unique, look, if you're going to make something unique, you're going to make something that fits into what they're doing at the moment, and you're going to make something that fits into the New Eden universe. Why not do a first-person shooter that? Yeah, I mean, how it's begging. The genre is begging for it.
Definitely. Now, if you think about it this way, Booker, okay, EVR, Eve Valkyrie, and Eve Legion on the PS4. What else is there to compete with it? Nothing. Nothing at all. Currently, there's Dust 514 on the PS4, PS3, sorry.
PS3.
And yeah. I've been drinking. Give me a minute. I've got a bacon sandwich next to me too. Just think about it. You've got a flight sim, and you've got a first-person shooter with a VR headset. What else is out there? What else is out there? Nothing.
Nothing, mate. All you need to add to that is porn, and you're sorted.
Does it consist of beer and bacon? I'm in.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a niche market for that, Bamster.
We won't go there though.
Yeah, we'll leave that for you.
No, but seriously, big round of applause for the guys at Newcastle, ECCP Newcastle, for the amount of effort they put into actually making the game as good as it looks in the actual trailers. You know, it's fabulous. Well done, guys. Well done.
Good enough to eat. Yeah, can't wait to get in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that was basically FanFest. Yeah.
Well, there was a whole lot of Eve stuff, and that's fair enough. And to be honest, if I was an Eve player, I would be pretty excited. It looks pretty darn cool. And from that perspective, I think most people would have enjoyed this FanFest. If you were looking for other stuff, and you know what I'm talking about, Bam? Well, I think there was only. Hilmar mention something about not needing to greenlight Legion because Dust was still a thing in his keynote? Dust was still a thing.
That sir is tinfoil. We do not deal in tinfoil here on this channel at all.
Hilmar said it. Dust is still a thing. It's still actually profitable. I mean.
Yeah, he said that Dust 514 was actually profitable, and in his keynote he actually asked for the Dust players, and the smattering of Dust players. Yeah, well, there was a few. Stood up and screamed, "Yeah, Dust 514!" And the rest of the EVE community's going, "Ree!" Oh my god, fucking damn it, really? Yeah. Nice troll, Hilmar, lovely. Anyway.
The only thing that's stable about the Dust 1.4 is the fact that it's probably run from a stable these days to keep costs down. You've got one little bloody bloke with a little laptop sitting away on the flipping manger in the corner, and that's why it's making a profit, because they're not paying anybody to do anything.
Well, so what you're saying is CCP Ratati and CCP Frame are the only two currently actually dealing with Dust, and then the rest are dealing with projects like Nemesis, which is the tablet app. Or the phone app, which they developed at Shanghai. So they might have other projects under their belt.
Mate, right. You're saying there's 1,800 to 2,400 regular players for Dust. Okay. Now I don't care what you say. There's only going to be a smallish minority of those people even thinking about paying money to Dust. How on earth can they be making a profit out of those small numbers? It doesn't quite make sense to me.
Okay, so since we all know and have all seen the video from Jake Wise, one of the CPM members, which I believe is Zarazel, he uploaded a video, obviously Dust 514 roundtable. I just want to point out the only reason why that table was even conducted was because the forums kicked off a big hairy stink about certain things, and CCP Ratati ended by asking the community how to deal with these three questions. Now, it's interesting when he asks these three questions because obviously he's asking for help and advice with how to put the game forward the way we want to. So everybody that's seen that video or not seen the video, I'm going to put a link in the description and you guys go watch it, answer these three questions to the best of your ability. No trolls, please, because he's actually quite serious about this. And go and answer the questions. If you only have one answer, well then give him one answer. He's looking for feedback. Go and give him the feedback. Be a dick about it, and he's going to be a dick to you. I've learned this many times.
Yeah. Well, being a dick comes so naturally to you, Bam.
It's done me well. It's done me
well. You've got to play to your strengths. Yeah, you've got to play to your strengths.
Played some of my strengths. Lovely. Anyway, Booker, that is going to be the end of it, really, because, there's not really much to talk about, really. There was nothing much said about Dust. A lot was said about Eve. You were there. You had a great time interviewing a few people at FanFest and all that jazz and all that nonsense. So it was a good fun. Good giggle, a good laugh. Cool beats, Batman. And that's really it, dude.
Yeah, so as ever, always a pleasure. And don't forget, me and you will be in a reticule near you sometime soon. Bye!